Right, so, introduce yourself.
Oh, thanks. That was.
Oh, sorry. What did you
I thought you were going to do an introduction. Then.
Do you want me to do an introduction?
Yeah, do it because then I'll get.
I thought you could introduce yourself, Trystan.
Oh no, I'll introduce myself.
Okay. Oh no, I'll introduce you. Yes, this is Trystan O'Connell from Inferno Class Recording Studios. He's too scared to introduce himself. Doesn't want to do it.
I thought you were going to do an introduction to the podcast.
Oh, okay. Okay, so right, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Tris. I run Inferno Class Recording in London, Wandsworth. Been here about a year and a half doing this, and also play in various bands. Have played in various bands, which I'm sure we'll get to with our erstwhile host here. And Marie and I have known each other for some years. We used to play in a band together. That's why we can just talk like this.
Yeah.
So don't leave me to talk. Ask me something.
So what's your background, Trystan? Where are you from? Where were you born? Where did you grow up? What's the story of Trystan from the 70s onwards?
The 70s. Back in those days. I was born in London and was here a couple of years, and then went abroad for a few years.
Where?
To Dubai, of all places, which was very, very different in 1982 when I went there. 44 years ago. And then came back in 1986 and been here ever since. Well, in the south of England. Then I was in Norwich for 9 years. I went to university there, and then played in some bands and stayed there because it was a good laugh. And then came back to London, and I've been here ever since. That was nearly 19 years ago.
Nice.
God, really exciting stuff, this.
What was Dubai like? Can you remember it from when you were young?
Yeah, sandy. It's all concrete and glass and metal now because they built stuff everywhere. When I was there, there was sort of a city centre which was pretty old still, and then there was the sort of suburbs where all the expats and what have you lived, and a beach, and that was about it. There wasn't any of the there were shopping malls, but there wasn't anything like there is now, and on the scale there is now. But it was sort of quite nice actually. Whereas I haven't been there now for I don't know, nearly 20 years, more than 20 years, because they weren't very nice to me in the airport last time I went.
Oh yeah, go on, tell us about it.
Oh, they made me take my clothes off and.
No.
I didn't think this podcast was going to go this way. Yeah, I got strip searched in the airport because they didn't like the look of me.
Oh, shit.
It was fantastic stuff. And so
how old were you?
20 years. Oh, mid-late 20s.
Okay.
And they obviously thought I had something that I shouldn't have done, which I didn't, because I'm not an idiot.
Yeah, you don't bring drugs to airports or anything like that.
No, that would be the behaviour of an idiot.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, we had a conversation about this a little earlier.
We did, didn't we?
Nothing, and it was neither of us that did it. Just to clarify that over the airwaves.
Yeah.
Do they still have airwaves?
There's still radio stations out there.
Oh, I suppose so.
But it's mainly digital now, isn't it? It's all digital stuff.
It's cabled.
Cabled.
The cable waves.
The cable
I don't know.
waves. So bands, tell me about the bands you've played in, Trystan.
The first band I was in I was at school. It was a band called Merkin, and we were a sort of punk band, I suppose. And we didn't do a lot because we were at school, and it was sort of like, yeah, we're a band, that sort of jazz. We did play the odd gig. We did. The most memorable one was we played at the Gun Tavern in Croydon, which was a gig put on by James and Brad from Shake Some Action Records, which was cool because I used to hang around there, and Croydon had I suppose what you call a scene back in those days.
Yeah, the cartoon.
Yeah. Oh,
Is that still there?
I don't think
Croydon
so.
cartoon.
Don't think so. I haven't been out in Croydon for ages.
Neither have I. I've not been there for 20 years.
I mean, I've been to Croydon, but I haven't been out there. But yeah, James and Brad put us on, and that was a bit of a laugh. And then school finished, and so did the band. And then didn't really do very much. Went to university, didn't do a lot there, but sort of kept playing. And then I got asked to. I knocked around in various bands in Norwich, and then mainly covers and what have you. Bit of a laugh. And then I got asked to join a band called Terminal City Ricochet, TCR, with Sue, who was in PMT, and a guy called Martin, and a guy called Tom, who is now in... Who's Tom playing for now? On the Her. And I think Braindance, if they're back together these days, I think Tom plays for them. Then that came to an end, and knocked around in another couple of bands, and then moved from Norwich down to London, back home again. The band was sort of already under construction, if for want of a better term, by Alex, who had sang in Refusal. That band was called Condition Dead. And we were looking for two guitarists. Well, I was going to play guitar in that one, as I had been in all the previous bands, and but we couldn't find a bass player. So I said, "Fuck it, I'll play bass," because I was bored of not playing. So I was like, "Oh, all right, I'll just play bass." We did that for a while, and then I had my wrists. Well, they weren't broken exactly, but I got punched outside a gig in Kentish Town, and from behind, so I couldn't see it coming.
Shit,
and I
who
fell.
punched you?
I
What
don't know, some
happened?
skinhead.
They just randomly punched you.
It was outside a Coxbarrow gig in Forum in Kentish Town,
Oh shit!
and some guy punched me from behind, and I sort of as I turned around, I went down and I put both my hands down and broke both my wrists at the same time.
I remember you telling me about this.
Yeah. That was right before the first ever AWOD, which Condition Dead were meant to play. And obviously, with a bass player with two broken wrists, couldn't do it. Well, no, we could do it, but I couldn't do it. Or not as a bass player anyway. And Alex said, well, I'll tell you what, we'll share the vocals and we'll get a bass player. I was like, all right. So we got Steve, who had been in the Lost Cherrees, to play bass, and I sang with Alex. Then after that gig, Steve stayed and I went on to guitar, so we finally had our two guitarists. Following that, Steve decided to get the Cherries back together and asked me if I'd play guitar for him, and then I was in the Cherries for 10 years after that, which is how I met Marie.
Hey.
Originally, because she joined about a year and a half after I did,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, about. I was in them a long time.
Yeah, about the same as me. Yeah, oh no, a bit longer than me.
Yeah,
then.
12 years. Yeah.
And yeah, I left just about when COVID started, and previous to that, I joined Active Slaughter. This is sort of band whoring, really, isn't it? I'm apparently quite good at that.
I didn't realise you were going to go as far back as you have done. But
I don't know.
that's
Sorry,
fine.
you can edit it out.
No, I can.
I joined Active Slaughter in 2017. I'll be quicker now.
No, you're fine.
Then,
It's fine. It's fine.
I'd known JJ and Trev for it feels like forever now. I first met them when I was playing in TCR, because we used to do gigs together sort of back in the early 2000s. Then about a year after I joined Active Slaughter, Si from Left 4 Dead and now Commoner got in touch saying, can you play bass? And I was like, yeah, why? So he asked me to play bass in Left 4 Dead, so I started doing that, taking us up to now, because we started, so we'll finish. Played a few gigs for Neck, sort of subbing on bass for their regular guy, Ash. After Mark sadly left us, who played bass in Active Slaughter, he was he'd also been in Liberty for many, many years, and we did a memorial gig for him, which Active Slaughter played, and Liberty guys asked me to play bass for that, so I now play bass for Liberty for the one gig we do a year.
I don't remember the last time Liberty played a gig. No offence, guys.
Neither do I.
I do love the Liberty guys. They're brilliant, all of them.
They are indeed, yeah. Actually, I was out the other night and went to see a band from Syracuse in New York, and they're called the War Lovers, and it's a duo, a couple. I went for a drink with them afterwards. The drummer, she said, "Oh, I'm really into sort of the old sort of British anarcho stuff." I was like, "Oh, right." So I was like, "You know, what bands?" And she sort of was saying these bands. I said, "Oh, do you know Liberty?" And she said, "I love Liberty." And she said, "Nobody in the States knows who they are, but I know who they are. I really like them." And
brilliant.
I was like, "I'll play bass for them."
Oh, nice.
So that was quite funny. So yeah, that's quite good. Yeah, I think that's about everything. I have a practice with a band, first practice ever with a band in 2 days' time. So I don't know if I've got that gig yet, but we'll see.
Which one do you not want to sell?
I won't say
tell me
anything
that
now.
earlier?
I did, but I won't say anything now because I don't want to jinx it. No,
Yeah.
I don't believe that. But I mean,
You won't jinx it, Trystan.
I've learnt the songs, so we'll see. I mean, watch this space. But yeah, that's bands. Next. I think that's everything. If I've forgotten anything, shit.
Any recording studio stories you'd like to share?
Oh, what, here or?
Oh God, yeah. We'll keep it to this one. And
there's.
Oh yeah, we've got some interesting.
Well, there's always some.
There always is
some funny stuff that when we had doing the Cherries and all the rest of it.
Recording pregnant.
Recording. Not me. That was her.
That was an experience.
Yeah, I bet. I don't know. I mean, here's everything. Touch wood. Has gone pretty smooth, I think. But it's like, I mean, I always find with any recording, you get the odd sort of quirk in performance by somebody who'll go, "Oh, I fucked that up," and then, but keep it. It sounded brilliant. There was a band with one of the first bands I had in a band called Affray, who I believe actually have just released something and are calling it a day. They were a good bunch of people, and they were good fun. They managed to, I don't know, I think it was a guitar player was playing something and trying to do a sort of a little fill solo sort of thing, and just hit this harmonic that sounded brilliant on the bend, and I was sort of turned round from they were recording the guitar overdubs in the control room. I turned around and I was like, hold it. And that was like a complete mistake, but sounded great. I mean, I was recording Eastfield last year, and Jesse managed to do almost the same thing. It was very, very funny. Like just hit this harmonic that sounded awesome and fitted in that in the place it was. Just really worked. Where otherwise it he wouldn't have done it. So really sort of mundane stuff like that, but it is sort of quite funny when it happens, and everyone just looks at each other and goes, "Yeah, that's all right." That.
Yeah, you forget, like with recording, like you'll capture these moments that you won't see live on stage, and things that'll be there forever.
Yeah, I know, totally. I mean, it's a fun thing to do in that. The more you listen back to stuff, even though a band might rehearse and know the songs like the back of their hand, like I know Eastfield do, the songs they did like last year were songs they've all been playing for years, but they were doing them with a different drummer, which is why they wanted to record them. But little bits come through in the recording as songs develop, almost like they were old songs, but they had changed them slightly over the years, and it just sort of, you hear new things when you put them down and listen back to them, rather than they've been playing them live since they first recorded them X number of years ago, and it was fun to sort of do that, because being a bit of an Eastfield fan myself, I like, sort of hearing it all again and being involved in recording it was good fun, and hearing the difference between the original and then the new version. I was like, oh yeah, I see what you're doing there. So regarding like funny stories, I don't know. I'm not sure they're not hilarious stuff. Unless you've got a weird sense of humour. But
oh, we've got some between us, haven't we could share? But
well, yeah, probably better not.
I'll ask all instruments you play, Trystan. Now we've talked about this, you play bass and guitar, but are you a secret drummer? Is he any other?
God, no. I have hit the odd skin.
Oh, God, too much information.
No, oh, God, you made that dirty, not me.
I think you've either got the gift of drumming or you haven't. I think it's something that you've either got or you just, no.
Yeah, I'm really not a good drummer. I can play a beat, but it's sort of once it gets to trying to do any sort of fill or anything like that, it just goes south. Like when I set up this place, I needed somebody to play the drums, so I got in touch with a good friend of mine who's now actually in a band I'm in. I never mentioned Bullets, and I should have done.
Yeah, oh God, don't tell Andy that.
Andy, sorry.
We're sorry. Please don't come after us. You wouldn't do that.
He'll probably. It would really not surprise me if he messaged in the next. Actually, no, he's probably a bit in bed by now because he's an Italian farmer these days. Going from a Glaswegian lunatic to an Italian farmer. Yeah, Gianni came and because he does engineering as well. He's got his home studio and all the rest of it. And I said to him, "Are you free on whatever day?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Do you want to come and see my studio?" And like with very much an ulterior motive. And he came down and he had a look. And I was like, "Do us a favour. You're a drummer, aren't you?" And he went, "Yeah." And I said, "Can you go down and play the drums?" Because you will hear the quirks of this place when if Marie asked me about it. But he went off to sat behind the drum kit, and I'm sitting up in the control room, turning knobs and all the rest of it. Because I just mic the kit up just to get it all plumbed in, so to speak. And obviously I couldn't be in two places at once, making sure everything worked and playing the drums very badly. So I got a proper drummer to do it. And so Gianni is sort of, well, we hang around a fair bit, and now he's playing drums in Bullets 23, who is the band that I'm in and do most with that I managed not to mention when asked about it. Bit of genius there. Well done, me. The most immediate thing is the thing I forget straight away.
Maybe you're dyspraxic.
No, I think I'm just an idiot. That's a way to sell the place, isn't it? Oh, that was stuff falling over. Marie, I told you not to touch anything.
Oh, hi. You were nearly my son's birthing partner.
Oh, fuck me, I forgot about that.
Oh, do you remember that?
That's trauma that I didn't...
I
have vague memories of it.
Yeah, because I went... did a rehearsal 5 days before I gave birth. I drove all the way to London from Southend, pregnant, and I thought it was a good idea. Don't know why. Pregnancy brain. And everybody freaked out, apart from Trystan, actually. Trystan was like... I'll just go to the hospital with you, Marie, if you need to. There's Guy's Hospital round the corner.
Oh, fuck me, yeah. I have very, very vague memories of this, but I'll take your word for it.
Okay, now. Right, who am I? Right, best and worst gig.
Playing or?
Maybe one playing and one that you've seen.
One that sticks in my mind as... really good and a really good laugh, and just sort of everything just seemed to sort of fit, was the first time the Cherrees played Rebellion in 2012, because we were on I can't remember the name of the venue, the big one down the bottom that looks like a huge greenhouse.
I saw you play.
No, it wasn't the arena. It was.
I'm sure it was.
No, it's the one when you come in the door on the right and you go down. It's like a big greenhouse. And there are 2 stages in there. I don't think we ever played the arena, thinking about it. But anyway, it doesn't
I know
matter.
where you mean now. I can see, 'cause I actually saw you play.
Yeah. We were on, there was like a big stage at one end and then there was a stage on the side. And on the big stage, the Restarts played, and then we played on, it was like one band on, one band off. So the Restarts played on the big stage, and then we played on the other stage in the middle, and then Conflict were on after us. So the crowd basically came for the Restarts and stayed all the way through to Conflict. So we played to loads and loads of people. It was really good. And it was also the first time I played Rebellion, which was, a bit of a laugh.
Oh, I played. That was the first year I played Rebellion as well with them, the Pukes.
That's right. Yeah. I vaguely remember that. Bad gigs. I remember a gig with Condition Dead where we played a pub on the Isle of Sheppey, and there were about 3 people there, and the bloke behind the bar, when we went on, the bloke behind the bar didn't turn the music off that was coming out of the system which was in the bar, which is in the same room. And so we could hear this dance music in between the songs, and I just sort of, after about the 3 songs, I just sort of lost my rag a bit and said, "Will you turn that fucking shit off?" And he actually did. But anyway, we banged through our set and then went home. But I mean, it was shit because there was nobody there, and yeah, it was a shit venue, and that's about as all of the memory I have of it. It was just shit. Yeah. So there's 2 bad ones played. Oh no! Sorry, the one good one and one bad one playing. I don't know. There are loads of been way more good experiences than bad. First Bullets gig was a really good laugh because we had a load of people turn up to see us, but then unfortunately left before the band who were headlining went on, who had travelled from France. Anyway, playing with we supported Hardskin at one of their last gigs as well. That was good fun, just because they're a good bunch of lads. As you can hear if you listen to any of their songs. No, I'm joking. No, they're good. They're good guys. I do love them all. I don't know. That could be. We could be here all night. Yeah. God.
Tell us about your punk background.
I suppose. I mean, the first punk band I suppose I would say I heard. And this is debated by my dad because my dad always says that he reckons Little Richard was the first punk. But and I don't think he's got a bad point there actually either. It was, I mean, all right, the first band that everyone considers to be a punk band I heard is, with no surprise to pretty much everybody, the Sex Pistols. And probably not far behind was the Clash and the Damned and SLF and all that. But then I was of that age where, when the American thing happened in the early mid-90s, you heard all those sort of bands like Offspring and Green Day and all the rest of it, most of whom I still don't like. I don't mind Green Day a little bit, but I cannot stand Offspring, never liked them, can't stand his voice. They're not a bad band, I suppose, but they just don't like his voice.
He listens to the show on a regular basis.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Hi, Dexter.
See, now this goes out to Canada.
Oh, you can cut that bit then.
Australia. I shit you not. I'll show you. I'll screenshot.
Okay, I believe you. You could have told me this before.
It's anything really bad. It's
no,
just like it's not your thing, and that's fair enough.
No.
Can't like everything.
But yeah, where all my mates sort of got into all that, and then they were into stuff like, they got into Weezer and stuff like that, which was too sort of clean for me. Whereas I went off down the other way, and I sort of discovered sort of bands like Schwarzenegger, for example, Steve Ignorant's band in the mid-90s. Like, I saw Support the Levelers, and I thought they were fantastic. And I went off looking for, how do I get a hold of their stuff? Where do I get their music? Back in the days where you had to write to people, and I remember writing to who's already been mentioned in the Hardskin thing. Sean, who ran Rugabugger, wrote to him, and I bought was it Get Your Elbows Off the Table EP, Schwarzenegger, and This Is the Way Things Are. And then I got into Snuff through that because he had them on his list of goodies. So I went off down that route and then got into like stuff like Conflict and Subhuman, Citizen Fish and sort of more political sort of stuff where all my mates were listening to American music.
Yeah, I remember it. Because I hate to say it, but we're a similar age.
Yeah.
Although I'm a little bit younger.
Yeah, she is a bit younger than me. Bless her.
So yeah, I remember because I was a bit like that. I mean, I did like some of the American music, but it just...
Oh, I still do, some of it.
But I was really into like what was going on around me. I wanted to see what was playing in like venues near me, like Schwarzenegger and the Exploited was still doing the rounds, and that was an interesting time. And
I don't think the Exploited ever stopped, did they?
No, I don't think they ever did. UK subs,
yeah. Charlie Harper, interesting story. This is one for the good gig column. Like when we played with Hardskin, Charlie Harper bought me a drink afterwards and said that he really liked some of my playing. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
So I got him to sign this sounds really sad. I got him to sign the plastic pint pot that it came in, which I've got at home now. And I keep getting shit off my mate Manu, who will be really, really chuffed that he gets a mention. He goes, yeah, somebody paid him to do that. So somebody's paid Charlie Harper to like my guitar playing and sign a cup for me.
Yeah.
I think it was him. But he's like that. There you go, Manu, you got mentioned.
So describe Inferno Class Recording Studio in 3 words.
3 words. Quirky is one that I always say to people. Compact. Do I need 3? Can I go with 2? I don't know.
Quality could be in
quality. Yeah. You do marketing, don't you?
Yeah,
I was trying to steer away from any of that sort of jazz, but
I thought you were trying to sell.
I am trying to sell it. It's relaxed. I'm going to go.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Because I mean, this was sort of when I sort of started learning how to do all this. I mean, I've been recording stuff for years, but using various shitty bits of equipment. I used to mess around with stuff when I was a kid, like making mixtapes, and for example. But then I used to like try and record stuff using sort of little like little tape decks and all the rest of it, just because I thought it was interesting. And I got a hold of a 4-track in the would be the late 90s, which I sort of recorded some stuff from that first band Merkin on. But I mean, that was all achieved more by luck than judgment, rather than any sort of technical know-how. Finally, I did a course in it, just sort of the arse end of COVID, basically. Did a degree in music sound production and learned why things worked and why other things didn't or don't. But essentially, like, it's almost sort of day one. They go, when you got a band in, or a singer particularly, it seems to be the case, just make sure they're relaxed and comfortable and all the rest of it. Otherwise, they're gonna feel under pressure, and you're gonna get a shit performance out of them. So that's why I'll go with relaxed. That was a really long way of saying relaxed.
What are you selling? Selling.
Yeah, it's sort of, I don't know. Got some patter, This is not rehearsed in the slightest. I actually sort of thought I could really prepare for this, but then I thought,
I didn't send you any questions, did I?
No, you didn't. See, this is what you have to work with.
I did give you a gist of what other sort of questions I'd ask, though.
You did.
So he wasn't cold. I mean, I'm random myself, as you know this.
I've noticed. 15 years of noticing.
Noticing random behaviour. So you sort of got a gist, and you could have listened and got a gist, and it is more relaxed chat. It's not me, grilling people and.
No, I've worked that out.
So you've described the studio as being quirky. Why is it quirky? What is unique about this studio?
Well, I don't know if it's unique, but it's. I mean, I'd call it quirky because it is. Most people, when they picture a recording studio, will think of either one big room or a pair of rooms with maybe some partitions in, but essentially you normally have a control room separated from a live room, which I do have, but they're not in a regular place. They're normally next to each other with and you'd hope with some sort of sight line between the control room and the live room, so you can look at each other. This doesn't have that, because each room is on top of the next one, if that makes sense. So the control room is at ground level, and then downstairs there's a live room, and then below that is sort of amp or cabinet isolation. So nobody goes in there anyway. I mean, it's just the loud room to keep the bleed from the guitars getting into the drum mics, because normally we getting a decent drum track with no interference and as little sort of background noise as possible. So yeah, it's quirky in that respect. It's like there's some stairs to go up and down.
So if you're disabled,
that's the drawback, I'm afraid. In that there isn't any form of lift or anything like that. It is a downside, I have to admit, but this is sort of the place I found. It's not too far away from home, and we're in London, so there's not a lot to pick from. But that said, if the opportunity to record a band with accessibility needs, would need a flat surface or flat surface. Do I mean flat?
I know what you mean.
Yeah. So me, no good words. I have the ability to remove equipment from here, and could be done elsewhere. Say, I've recorded. We were just talking about this before we started, but there's a picture on the wall in here of Eastfield 10-inch record Terminus that came out on the wonderful Grow Your Own Records. Speak to Gary. He's on Facebook and Instagram, probably.
He is?
He is on Instagram, I'm sure he is. And Steph as well. Sorry, I should mention Steph too.
Active Slaughter on Grow Your Own as well, aren't there?
I'm going to say we're on them, but there's 6 of us now. We'd be heavy. Oh no, there aren't 6. There's 5 of us.
A part of the Grow Your Own collective.
We like to think so. Yeah, I mean, it's a proud association, I'd say. They're good people, So the point I was trying to make was the Eastfield thing was recorded in a rehearsal space, so I do have the ability to sort of do it off site, so to speak. So there.
So it can be done.
It can be done. Admittedly, that was done before I had this place, but it is still could be done if that was necessary.
So you can travel to people as well if needs be.
I can. It would. It's not something I'd plan to do a huge amount of, because it means undoing a lot of stuff that took ages to do, as in install in the studio. But it could be done on a sort of more stripped down level, with to get a recording done. It is possible to do, just slightly more time and work going into it, because obviously the studio here it's essentially set up so a band can come in, set their gear up, and we're pretty much ready to go, barring any technical issues, and there are sometimes them, but as with anything like this, yeah, I mean, it is essentially set up here to sort of plug and play almost. So yeah.
So are you in contact with any other recording studios? Is there like a network of you, like punk rock recording studio people?
Do you know, I got talking to a couple of fellas. I wouldn't say they were punk rock necessarily, but I was at a gig for a band that I recorded here called Vulcan, who are from Southwest London. They're sort of I'd say like a more traditional sounding heavy metal band, but they're a bit different in that they're quite sort of bluesy sort of sound mixed in with it, with these sort of 80s heavy metal riffs. Like if you think sort of Ride the Lightning era Metallica, I thought of when they were recording, and funnily enough, the guitar player, I said, when I said that to him, he said that's my favourite Metallica album, so he was quite chuffed, I think. But yeah, they recorded here. They were good fun, and they came out with it. They were happy with what they came out with. I believe it's been released on Bandcamp. And I was at one of their shows. They did a matinee gig at the Fiddler's Elbow, I think it was. These two fellas came up and said, "Oh, you recorded them?" Because they did embarrass me by saying, "You recorded us."
Oh, I'll have to do that. But that man there.
Yeah, it was a bit like that. And I sort of stood there thinking, "Oh, why is everyone looking at me?" But yeah, a couple of guys came up and they said, "Oh, yeah, it'd be really cool to come and see your place and all the rest of it." And we sort of had a bit of a chat about it all, and being at the bottom end of the scale of recording studios, sort of independent and all the rest of it. So, I mean, I wouldn't say there's a network as such, but I mean, not that I'm aware of anyway. Maybe I just haven't been asked. I don't know. But yeah, there are other people who do it. I mean, you know, thus far in the short time I've been around doing this, people have had me do everything on their, you know, record, mix and master their projects, rather than coming in, recording it, and then they take it to another mixer, or they get me to record it and mix it, and then they take it somewhere else for mastering. So, I mean, in that respect, I think that, or in my experience from talking to the people who taught me, the lecturers and so on at university, they were saying that, and you know, you do build up a network if you are acting in one respect rather than all of them, if you see what I mean. Sort of, if you're handling recording, then you might need to communicate with a mixer. If you're recording and mixing, you'd need to sort of have communication with the mastering people, because they might need changes made and so on. So I think that would build sort of connections, whereas so far I've just been doing it. The bands that I've had have asked me to do all of it, which is very nice of them.
You know, that's how the sort of like positive, trustworthy sort of vibe you give Trystan.
Oh, is it? Thank you.
It is. You know, I've worked with Trystan a long time, and obviously apart from the last few years.
Oh yeah, there've been the sort of wilderness years of.
There was the wilderness
post-COVID and whatever.
Yes, but you know, I've always enjoyed working with you, and when you left the band that we were in together, I was quite sad that you left. I think I was the only one who even messaged you and said, "You all right, Trystan? You know, don't leave."
Well, it was time for a change, and and well, I thought it was anyway. But you know, I'm doing other things now. And
sometimes it's time, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there was essentially a bit of that, and a bit of there were other aspects to it, but it, you know, it felt like the right time. I'd done my 10 years.
Yeah.
But I had good times with that band. Like I say, like there were some really, really good gigs in there. We did some good recordings. It was time to move on.
Okay, so your proudest moments and biggest regrets.
My proudest moments. I was talking about Eastfield again, wasn't I? I did an album for them last year, which turned out really well. And Jesse knows lots of people, and Eastfield have a very loyal bunch of people who go to their gigs and buy their records and all the rest of it. He was saying that a lot of people had said to him that is, you know, the best thing they've ever done, and it sounds great, and the new versions of the old songs sound fantastic, and so that was cool having him, because you know he's been around. Eastfield actually played their 30th anniversary gig last Saturday, I believe it was, in Sheffield, with Amass, who are another great band, and they talked to me about doing something with them. So Amass, if you're listening, what's going on? No, they're a fantastic band. Love them, a mass. But yeah, Eastfield, getting all that feedback and Jesse telling me about all that was great to hear. Any band that comes in, it's fun to do. They're all different, and the personalities are all different. Everyone who's been in so far has been a pleasure to deal with, and sort of regardless of what the style of music is. I mean, I always say it says on the website, and I always say that I want to do guitar based live music, with a live drum kit. I mean, it's not exclusive to that, because I've done Dinosaur Skull, who don't have a drummer. They use programmed drums, and are mighty fine people. Hi, Mike and Sil. Come back. But they are coming back, because they've done half an album. They want to do another half. No, as I say, the personalities are individual, and when a band comes in, they play their own songs mostly, and they go out with at the end of it all with music that they have made, and that makes me feel proud about it, because we've all worked towards a common goal, and they come out with something that hopefully they enjoy and hopefully other people enjoy. So yeah, that sounds like a sort of stock answer. No, I do mean it. I think it's cool when you come out with, for people in bands, when they come out of, because I could say it from both sides of the fence, as somebody who records and somebody who has been recorded. It's a great feeling to finish a session or a whole sort of project, and come out and listen to it and think, wow, I did that, or I was part of that with my mates, and so yeah, it's a good feeling.
Nice. So can I ask the subject of, like, how much does it all cost, and how do you work? Do you have set days? It's like, no, you've got to record over 2 days, or I won't do it.
No, I don't. I'll entertain any suggestions from people who want to come in as far as sessions go. I mean, I've done different things. Like the first thing I ever did here after I started was Lucian from Circle None came in and recorded only drums, and I said, so have you got backing tracks you're going to play along to, or do you want a click track? Nope. He went downstairs and battered the shite out of the drum kit, in a good way, for the day, and came out, I think it was 13 songs we got done in the end, all in his head. And I was sort of absolutely taken back by this, because every now and again we'd have a listen back to what had been recorded, and then he'd go, I need to do that bit again. I'm like, you do know I can offer no constructive criticism at all, because I don't know what it sounds like in your head, and so he's got the guitar and the bass and the vocal all there, and obviously I can't hear it, but I've heard some roughs of it. I heard them a little while ago. I think they're on Bandcamp as well, actually, and they sound fantastic. And I mean, this is all like blast beat stuff and weird time signatures and all that, and I'm going, how are you doing this? But so that was one way of working. I mean, I had, as I think I mentioned to Frey earlier, they came in and they wanted to do it all live with minimal overdubs, which they did, and they did it all in a day. Sounded great. Lost Cherrees came in and did an EP in a day. I mean, I mixed it on another day, but and then mastered it again on a further, I think that was a half day. So it's whatever the band wants to do, it doesn't really bother me. Or if it's just a vocalist wants to come in and sing something over a backing track that they already have, it's neither here nor there to me, to be honest. As for costs, I have to remember now. No, it's for an 8-hour session, it's $250, including myself as your engineer. That's for recording, and then for any time mixing and mastering. I mean, there is also the option of doing by an hour, like an hourly rate of £40 an hour, which is we discussed that. But what I normally like to do is if it's say an EP, say 4 or 5 songs, we'd maybe spend a day, or if you want 2 days recording it, then I'd do a day on my own editing and doing some mixing. I provide a rough mix before that, actually, saying that, which I do in my own time, just to go, is this the sort of thing you're looking for? Rather than diving into a mix and then they go, no, that's not what we wanted. Because then we waste everyone's time, waste money, whatever. But it varies. It depends what the band want in the end. But it's, as I said before, we're all working towards a common goal. Like if the band name is going on it, which it obviously will be, they want the best that they can get. If they want to put my name on it, that's fantastic. And then I want the best as well, because it obviously affects future bookings and so on. But
so do you have any regrets, like, bands, recording wise or anything?
No, I don't think so. No, I mean, like I say, I've not been doing this. I've not had this studio open very long, and I don't think I'd regret anything in particular. As the years go by, maybe something will happen, but I'd hope not, because life's too short to regret it. Let's be all philosophical.
I asked Andy from Bullets 23 what his biggest regret was. Could you just...
God, I'm not even going to guess, but go on.
He said, no, nothing. He said, I've got no regrets.
I can imagine him saying that very, very much. Yeah.
Yeah. I like talking to Andy. In fact, I don't think I've talked to anybody that I've not liked speaking to. Everyone's been brilliant.
No, I can fully imagine Andy saying that. I mean, I've known him about a year now, and it feels like, this sounds wrong, but it feels like a lot longer, and that's not in a negative sense. We chat all the time, and it's just sort of funny, because we both have a massive love for Stiff Little Fingers and just playing sort of good time punk rock, which is, he writes most of the songs, and he wrote all the songs so far. I mean, I've chucked in one. I think it's going to be on the next whatever release.
Nice.
Working on the first album still at the moment, but anyway. But yeah, he's so enthusiastic about everything. It's quite nice. There's never a negative comment, so I can fully imagine him going, no regrets. In that lovely accent. We're going to Scotland actually next. For those of you who don't know, Andy's very, very Scottish.
He is.
We're playing up in Dunoon at Punk on the Peninsula.
I've seen that. That looks awesome.
Yeah, it should be a laugh. Long fucking way, but it should be a laugh. Yeah, that's in May. I think it's May the 24th we're playing, this Sunday.
So this episode will probably come out, I'm guessing, beginning of June. So you will.
Oh, we'll have played it. It was brilliant. You should have been there. When he lives in Italy, so when he's out of the country, I do all the singing when we practice, because the other three of us all live in South London, so it's easy to get together. Yeah, I was like, oh no, I'm fucked if I'm singing at gigs as well, like everything. Come back. I say it every practice, and they look at me the same every time. Shay and Gianni, I go, Andy, come back. Your sins are forgiven. Come back from your farm in Italy. He doesn't actually have a farm, I don't think. He just lives in the middle of nowhere. Anyway, go on. Sorry, I'm off on a tangent again.
Yeah, do you know? I forgot what I was going to say.
Regrets.
We've done regrets. We've done.
Talked about Andy again.
Talked about Andy again. There was loads of things.
Should be a stage name, Andy again.
My brain's gone fucking blank. Oh yes, anarcho bands. So
Oh yes.
your top? What would you say your top three anarcho bands were? Because obviously being associated with.
Yeah. Definitely got 2, 3. Oh God, that's hard. I mean, I always loved Conflict. Just they really hit a spot for me when I first heard them. So they're definitely in there. Crass, obviously. I mean, or if you just considered Crass the daddy, mummy parentage of all of it, then you could probably exclude them as just like a special case. So then do I get 2 more?
Well, I was going to say with
know.
Conflicts, did you discover them like in the 90s when you were looking around for like bands and things, because it was all like very American punk band saturated. Not like I've got a problem with American punk bands, but you were looking for something closer to home, and that one of the bands I found was Conflict. So.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, Schwarzenegger I sort of discovered, and then on the back of that came so many other things, like obviously Steve Ignorant, Crass, and Conflict, because around that time he, I think, was still doing stuff with Conflict by then, but or had been up until a couple of years previous. So that it was very around then, I suppose. And I had a mate who he'd actually left the school I was at, but he was quite local to it, and I used to bump into him. And I remember him saying to me, because when he was at school, he was sort of well into his metal, and then he left, and I bumped into him, and he was all crusty and he had dreads and that, and he goes, "You've got to hear this band, they're fucking brilliant, they're called Conflict." And we were still quite, reasonably young at the time, and I was like, "Oh, brilliant, yeah, I'll look them up." And I do remember that, actually sitting down by a river drinking cider, and him going, "You've got to hear this band, they're fantastic." Top 3, God. All right, Crass, Conflict. I love Anthrax. It's a hard question because you just sort of feel like, oh, I do anyway. I feel like I'm excluding something, and then, like I said, I managed to forget the fact that I play in Bullets 23 when you asked me what bands I'm in. There you go. I mean, obviously, I played in the Cherries for years, so there's a soft spot there, because we did good things. There are so many. I mean, just read The Day the Country Died, or listen to the Subhumans. So I mean, yeah, Subhumans. I mean, they're one of my favourites. So I
what
suppose.
about Poison Girls?
Love the Poison Girls. Oh yeah, we did that, didn't we? I got that. Do you know what, Vide? Again, it's one of those things that massively proud to have been part of, but it just because so much has happened since, it's sort of one of those things that faded away a little bit. And now you say it, yeah.
Yeah,
the
that was one of my...
Vide at AWOD, Steve from the Cherries did AWOD, and that, which was a brilliant festival. And I've sort of, again, proud to have been part of that, helping out with the stages and what have you. Yeah, Vide, that was a brilliant idea of his, and I believe it must have been his, I suppose.
It was.
And getting all those bands with and promoting the idea of more female members and so on, and getting a whole day of bands with female members and covering Poison Girls songs. It was brilliant. It was an emotional day. It was a fun day, and I think I don't think I've seen that venue that full that early in a day. I mean, it was quite something. So yeah, obviously Poison Girls. Naming 3 is too difficult.
It is, isn't it? We had Pete Fender on stage with us. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did some really good stuff, didn't we? Like
That was
in
fun.
the early days.
Mm. Was that early?
It's quite early for in the first. I'd say in the first 2 or 3 years, we did some really cool stuff, and we did that recording with Steve Lake and Andy T, didn't we?
Yeah. That was that was in Camden when Doyley still had that place. I don't know. I mean, Are you allowed to have fun in narco bands?
Well,
I always laugh at that. 'Cause, like, having been in a few, I'm in Active Slaughter as well, obviously. Just to mention my own lot again, but
because when they first started, I did. I used to get up on stage. I used to do like some backing vocals and stuff, but they've forgotten all of that because I think because I was friends with JJ. JJ was my neighbour.
Oh yeah.
God, it's not my time, is it? Sorry, I'm going into one. But JJ was my neighbour. We lived on Hale Road together.
Oh, dangerously close to Tottenham.
He was number 5 and I was number 15.
All right.
But they were anyway. It's your time. I'll shut up.
Yeah, we're all over the place. I mean, JJ's in, where is he? Sort of Chingford. I'm in South London. Shay's in South London, and Trev and Lara are in West Wales.
Yeah, because they were on the show. They kicked off season 2.
Oh, of course they were. Yeah,
they were. They were brilliant.
See, I've done my research. We were actually saying off air that I didn't listen to any of this because before doing it, because I didn't want to get ideas about what I should say in my head, and I've been very successful about managing not to do that, just because it meant not doing something.
It's a shame we didn't record some of the conversation earlier.
I don't know about that. A shame for who? I don't know. We could, I ain't going to court.
So, should we start wrapping it up?
Okay.
Okay. So, any last words? Any last
words? Why, what are you going to do to me?
Oh my God!
Yeah.
So, anything you want to say before we wrap this
anyone who'd like to sort of have a chat about recording, please get in touch. I don't bite much. The website is www.infernoclass-recording.co.uk. I'm on Facebook and Instagram.
TikTok.
And what?
TikTok.
No, I'm not on TikTok. Although I do keep getting suggestions that I should be. But one thing at a time, eh? Yeah, well, I mean, I don't mind a good old email. We were saying this again off air, like old school. So email address is Trys, that's TRYS, at infernoclass-recording.co.uk. All the details are on the website. I'm sure Marie can put that in if you do show notes, I suppose.
I do all that.
Very
yes. And I do like little videos, and I do all the advertising. Have you not seen this, Tristan?
No, I told you. I've been.
You were on my social media pages and stuff.
Well, I did get in touch with you through the social media thing.
I don't know why I bother. I really don't.
I wonder that sometimes too about me, but yeah, just get in touch. Oh, I'm sure there'll be a link in the show notes. Show notes. I've never said that before. It sounds really. I've never been on a podcast before, as if nobody could tell. So yeah, get in touch. Come and make beautiful music. That sounds weird. I should stop talking now.
Okay, thank you, Tristan.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to Punk Rock Creatives podcast, and we'll see you next time. Bye.